Hi everyone, in this tutorial we will talk about call put parity. In last tutorial we discussed what is a call option and what is a put option. But let me give you a small introduction to call and put option before we go to call and put parity, and that will also help me explain the call and put parity if I explain you what is a call and what is put. So let's talk about the call option. So if we have a call option that gives us the ability to buy a stock at a given price, so we define the price to be k. So here what happen is, so this is your value. So your value will increase only when the stock price, so this uh, x-axis is the stock price and the y-axis is the value of the call, and we call it call. So what happen is that it gives you the ability to buy the stock at price k. So if it's below the value of k, then you will the call option is worthless. But if it's above the value of k, then you will make money, or the value to the call option will come, and that will be equal to the uh, difference between the stock price and the strike price. And if you look at the put, then the put gives you the ability to sell the stock at a given strike price. So here if you look at the value of put, then you will see that the value increases as the stock price decreases, and this is your k. So now if we combine call and put together, so what will happen? So let's say that you buy the call and sell put. So in this case, if we combine both of them together, we'll see something like this. So this is your k. So we bought the call, so we will make money as it goes above the strike price of k, and because we sold the put, so we will lose the money as it goes below the strike price k. So this is your s, and this is value. So this is value of buy call and sell put. So now if you look at this chart carefully, this is equivalent to buy stock at price k. So this is obvious, right? Because your value increases when you then the stock price goes up, and it decreases when the stock price goes down, right? And so this is not the negative, but so now what we have to do is, so we can say that buying a call and selling the put is equal to buy stock at price k, right? Now suppose the actual price of the stock is not k but is s, so then you have to pay the difference. So that means the c minus p will be equal to s minus k. So let me give you an example. So suppose the stock is $12 and k is $10. So if you buy call and sell put at strike price k, then that is equal to that you are buying the stock at value 10, but actual value is 12, so you have to pay $2 here. So your c minus p should be equal to $2. Now we can add more complexity to this equation, but this is called call put parity, but this is more simplified version. We can add complexity here. So how do we add complexity? So now suppose the stock give you the dividend, right? But here you are not buying the stock, but you are buying the call and selling the put, and you are making it looks like that you bought a stock. So but you lose the dividend. So in this case you will say S minus dividend, whatever dividend you paid during the paid by the stock during the time you held this combination. And then because you are also doing one more thing is that instead of paying the price K or price for the stock right now, you are paying the price much later. So that means you are in a way gaining the interest on this value K. So you understand, like, you know that if you do this buy this call, sell this put, then your all you are investing is around $2, right? And then you are delaying the payment of $10 until the expiry, so you will pay $10 much later. So in a way you gain the interest on it. So in this case we'll say K minus interest. So that will be your more right way to write a call put parity. But now let's write it in in a more professional way. So here it will be S E minus minus RT, where R is the interest rate, and I'm assuming continuous compounding, and here it will be equal to K. Oh no, this is the dividend rate. Sorry, this will be the dividend rate. So we write dividend here, and here it will be E minus RT, where R is the interest rate. So gamma is dividend rate, and R is equal to interest rate. So I hope this will explain you the basic concept, and we can also use the call put parity to build synthetic call or synthetic put options, and we can talk about that later in the next tutorial. So thank you. Hi everyone, in this video we'll talk about the concept of call put parity, and I will try to put a very simplistic view of call put parity without using much of the equations. So here let's start with buying a call option. So if we buy a call option, so let's draw a timeline. So what call option is all about, that suppose if there is a stock at t is equal to 0, the stock is priced at S, right? So now we want to have an option to buy this stock at some later time t is equal to t, when the stock price might have changed at that time, and we want to buy this at price k, which is the strike price, right? So now if we look at what should be the value of call, so the first thing which will strike in our mind is that it should be the difference between S and K. Why? So suppose if the stock is right now at $10, right, and we want to buy the stock at $9 later, so we have to pay the $1 right now, right? So that there is a balance there, right? So we have to pay the price of the stock, right? However, because we are paying the K at the very later stage, not right now, so the time value of K also need to be adjusted. So let's start with this. So the value of call will be equal to S minus K, right? However, K we are paying at the later time. So what would be the value of K right now? And that will be equal to K minus the interest rate. Okay, so that will be equal to minus interest, right? Because if we pay K minus interest on K, this is the interest on K here, then that will become k here, right? So that is k minus interest, right? Now, so this is how the call should look like, but also remember that call is a option. It's not a liability on you, right? So you have the option whether to buy the stock or not to buy the stock. There is no other option, right? There is no like, you are not forced to buy the stock. So call also have an inherent insurance into it, that suppose if stock prices decreases, then you don't have to buy the stock. And what that option or that insurance comes from, that comes from the put. So we have inbuilt put in the call, so we have to also remove the put value from the call. So if we sell the put and we put p here, then we'll have a better form of call put parity. Now if you want to put more details into it, then we can also see the dividends. So now S is the stock, right? So we, if we would have bought the stock right now, then we would get all the dividend until time t. But now because we are not buying the stock, we are buying the option, we will lose all the dividend. So that dividends needs to be subtracted from the S. So we have to remove the dividends from here. So we have to say minus dividends, right? So minus D. So that's how the call put parity looks like. So now this call put parity, this is one of the very important equation, because we can rearrange these numbers to either buy a synthetic call, buy a synthetic put. So suppose if you want to buy a synthetic call, all we need to do is buy the stock, buy the put, and then put some money, or like get some money on interest. So that will be a call option and a synthetic call option. If you want to do same thing, we can do same thing for the put option. And in that case, we can also do this is get call, sell put, and then also sell stock, right? And that will be equal to minus k minus interest, right? So we can also use this relationship to lend the money, so we can get interest from combining the call, put, and the stock on certain investments. So I hope this make some sense, and I'll see you again in the next tutorial. Thank you. Hello everyone. In this video, I'll explain the basic concept of bonds and how one can make money using the bonds, or how people make money using by buying or selling the bonds quickly. So as you might have observed that the interest rates are pretty low, and then why would anyone be interested in investing in bonds? So let's begin with example. So suppose if you have some money to invest, so you want to put it in the bank, right? So suppose we have this timeline, and you have, this is your time period for which you want to invest the money. So you add some money here, right? So suppose you add p here, right? So then at this point you will get p plus I, where I is your interest rate, right? So you get I as an interest rate, and you have to wait 1 year for it, right? Suppose this is a 1 year investment, so you have to wait for 1 year, right? So now if interest rates are higher, then you'll get high I. If interest rates are low, you get low I, interest, right? So suppose right now the interest rates are very high, right? So in that case you will get uh, high HIH, right? So instead of that, what you can do is, instead of buying uh, putting the money in the bank and getting IH, you can also buy a bond here. So how the bond will work is, now suppose you have a bond which pays you P plus I4, right? So in that case you have to pay P right now. So you pay P right now. So you pay P for bond. So remember that in case of the deposit you are also paying P to the bank, so that they will give you interest IH later on. But here you pay P, and then you are given a coupon that you will be paid P plus IH at the later time, right? So suppose now the interest rate decreased. So now the interest rates are less. So in now you will get, so you know that you will get P plus IH at the later time, right? However, for now you don't have to pay P for that. You have to pay P plus IH minus I low, because the interest rates are low now, so you have to pay less of interest. So you have to pay this. But how much you buy it for? You buy it for P. So if you do the math, then you made money which is equal to IH minus IL. So you made the money by just buying the bond and selling the bond, and you don't have to even wait for the time. So you don't have to wait. If the interest rate changes overnight, you will be able to make this much money just by buying or selling the bonds. So this is how you can make money in bonds, by capturing the interest for a given period of time. So if you know that the interest rate gonna change, so you don't wait for the interest rate to increase and then deposit the money, but you can always invest in bonds in both ways to make the money from quick change in the interest rates. So I hope this video helps. I'll see you again in the next video. Thanks.
Hi everyone, I have made this video to explain few of the tricks which can be used in the stock market to make risk-free returns. But these returns will be very low, and it could almost be equal to the rate of interest you get in the bank, or could be lower. But if you do the proper scanning, it could be higher too. So let me explain the trick. So the trick is that, as we know that if we buy a stock, so suppose there is a stock S, and if you buy the stock, then with the time, as the stock price will increase, you will get profit, and if stock price decrease, you will get a loss, right? So this is your return, right? And this is your stock price, right? So instead of buying the stock, the other option is to buy a call. So if you buy a call, then in that case your return looks something like this, but you do not have any loss, because this is an option for you. So only if stock prices increase, then you get a return. So this is your call option, right? So if you sell a put, so this is the call. If you sell a put, then if you sell a put, then in that case this graph will look very similar to the stock price. So this is your return. So that will look very close to what you have for stock. So now what you can do is, you can uh, do two things. Either you buy the stock and then sell this combination. So sell call minus put. So in that case, it doesn't matter if stock goes up or down. The value for this instrument will not change at all. And the other option is to do the other way, that is call minus put. plus stock. Oh, sorry, minus stock. That's another choice. So these are the two ways, but this way makes more sense because in that case you are making an investment, you're putting the money in. So theoretically this instrument should have always have return, and this instrument should not have a return, but you never know. So if you keep your eye, so if you can always look at the call and put option together and try to calculate these numbers, you will see that for certain stocks you can get up to 3% return depending on market scenario or what time you buy these options. So and it is possible for you to get a monthly investment, or it's also possible for you to get a yearly investment. So in that case, this return, you will get this return irrespective of where the stock goes up or whether the stock goes down. So this is one, also this is also called the call put parity, but we have certain videos which will explain this, but this is a very simplistic view of looking at it. We are not taking any account of the dividend, and we are not taking any account of the other interest rates which can be used. But if you want to lend money, or if you want to invest uh, in some passive, you are a passive investor and you don't want to take any risk, so this is one of the possible ways to invest in stock market risk free. So I hope this video makes sense to you, and I'll talk about more concept in finance in the more videos. Thank you. In this tutorial, we will talk about bull spread. So bull spread is a good investment strategy if we are hopeful that the stock price will go up, but we don't want to take a lot of risk, and we don't want to make a lot of investment. So let's begin by taking an example. So suppose if this is a chart and this is the profit and this is the stock price, and we buy the stock at price suppose $10, then if the stock goes up in the price, then we'll make profit. If it goes low, then we'll have a loss, and this is how it is. So our maximum loss will be equal to $10 in this case, right? And the profit, maximum profit uh, is equal to infinite, so it can go all the way to anywhere. So this is how if you buy the stock, but your investment will be equal to $10 too, because you have to invest $10 in it. But same thing, so if you buy a call, in that case, suppose you pay for call, so the call price is equal to dollar two, then you will have your profit chart like this, and this will be equal to stock price, and this is your profit and this is your stock price again, and here the maximum loss is equal to $2, and max profit is again uh, is equal to infinity, and investment here is equal to $2, right? So I hope this is very clear. So now the problem here is that the stock will never go to like 100 or 200. It usually will go around 11, 12 or 13. It's not gonna go to 20 or so, unless it's a very volatile stock. If it's a regular stock, then the price do not shoot up that much in a normal scenario. So you don't wanna buy this option that you have a profit even if it goes to $100. So why don't you sell the upper part of your profit, that which you think it's not very practical, right? So in this case, suppose you sell and you think that it should only go to $12, so sell a call for $10, $12, right? So that means that if stock price goes above 12, then you would have to pay the money, or otherwise not, right? So if you sell it, so suppose the call is $1, so in this case what will happen is the profit chart will look like this. So you'll have profit, so your max uh, profit in this case is equal to $1, and loss is equal to infinity. So you'll have a lot of loss in this case, and but your investment is equal to -1, because you are getting $1, not investing anything. So if we combine both of these strategies together, right, so that is what we call a bull option. In the case of bull option, you buy $10 and sell $12 calls. Both of them are call. So if you do that, then this is how your profit chart will look like. So if you do that, your investment first of all will be equal to $1, because you pay $2 to buy this call and you get $1 for selling this call, so your total investment is $1. What's your maximum loss? That will be equal to $1. So you lower down your loss. It was $2 in this case, it was infinity in this case, it was $10 if you buy the stock. So your maximum loss is $1, and your maximum profit, now this is again important, your maximum profit, so the stock can at maximum go to 12, and then after that you will stop getting any profit, because in that case you have sold the call. So your maximum profit will also be equal to $1, and so this is how, now you have, what you have done is you have invested in a scenario where you believe that the stock price will go up. However, you have minimized your investment only to $1, and you have minimizes your loss, which is also $1, and you have also minimized the profits. But because but that makes sense, because you anyways believe that it will go up but it won't go above $12. So this is the case where you are actually minimizing your risk, minimizing your investment. So it's a good option, but if you look at it carefully, in a way you are risking all of your investment. So your total investment is $1, and you're gonna lose everything if it fails for you, if it goes in the opposite to what you have hoped for. But if it goes the way you hope for, then you will double your investment. So it's a very risky instrument. However, it is much logical when compared to your actual stock price or actual buying the stock, so because you are minimizing your risk. So instead of investing $10, you're investing $1, and you should be able to invest in different portfolios based on or you can expand your investment to many stocks if you follow this strategy in the same $10 that you would have used to buy only one stock. So I hope this tutorial will help, and we'll talk about more concept later. Thank you. Hi everyone, in this tutorial we will talk about the concept of bear spread. So if we want to sell the stock, and we think that the stock price should go down in the future, and we want to make profit from that, then obviously we can sell the stock in the market, and we hope to buy it in the future to make the profit. But in that case there is investment which is need to be made, and there is a risk which is one of the concern that if the stock price goes up, then we will be in trouble. So bear spread is a good option to lower that risk and also lower the investment you are doing. So suppose let's do it in a graphical way to understand the concept. So suppose if we have uh, a stock which is at $10 right now. So if we sell this stock at $10, then if the stock price goes down, so this is our profit and this is stock price. So if it goes down, then we will make profit, but if it goes up in the price, we will lose money, right? So our investment, so now here I'm assuming that we have to um, have $10 given to the broker to be able to sell the stock, right? Normally if you are a bank, that would not be the case, but normally if we use a broker, and we have to pay certain amount of money to be able to sell the stock, and let's assume it to be 100%. So your investment will be equal to $10, right? And your maximum loss will be equal to infinity, because if stock price starts to go up, it can go up anyways, anywhere, right? So there's no limit to how much loss you can have. But if you talk about maximum profit, that will be equal to uh, $10, because most it can happen is that our stock is at valued at zero, and in that case you make all the $10 with you, right? So here the investment is high and the risk is very high, right? So we want to lower the investment and we also want to lower the risk, but still want to be able to make money if the stock price goes down. So how will we do that now? So before that, let's look at the put options here. So so suppose if we sell a put at $10, which is so this is our strike price. So this is strike, and the cost is $1, or you can say, let's say $2, right? So in this case, this is how our profit chart will look like. So our investment will be equal to $2, and maximum loss again will be uh, -2, so it will be $2. So why $2 is because we only invested $2 here, and so that should be our maximum loss. And what is the maximum uh, profit? That will be equal to $8, because we invested $2 in it. So if stock price goes to zero, make $10, but we invested $2, so we'll make a maximum profit of $8. So what we did here is, if you compare both of these, then you can see that now we lowered the investment. In By lowering the investment, we also lowered the maximum loss, so we lowered the risk, and that also resulted in lowering the maximum profit. So instead of making 10, now we were making 8, but we lowered both the investment and the loss. So now if we want to further make more improvement to it, so you can see that it says that the maximum profit is $8, but you don't think that it's gonna go to zero, right? The stock price, if it's a normal scenario, it's a good stock, and it's okay stock means, but there is no, some crisis is not there going on or something, but it's very unlikely that from $10 it will go to $2 or $3 or even $0. So you think that there's no point of me having this option for it to go to zero. So you might want to sell this option of if stock price goes below $8, right? So in this case, you can say that, suppose you, so here you buy, right? So you buy the put, So let's say that you sell the put uh, at $8 strike, which is priced at $1 cost, right? So what the profit chart will look like is this. So your make money if the stock price goes up, and then you lose money if it goes down. So this is profit, this is stock. So you are selling the put, here you are buying the put, right? So in this case your investment, so here you will get the money because you are selling the put, so you will get $1, and your maximum loss will be equal to because you got $1, you selling at strike 8, so your maximum loss will be equal to $7, because the stock can go to 0 and you have to pay all the $8, but you receive $1, so you will lose $7. But your maximum profit here is also $1, because you will only gain your $1 which you received for selling the put. So if we combine both of these strategies together, then that is what we call a bear spread. So in the bear spread, we'll have a protection against the losses, and profit if the stock goes down. So it will look like this. So in this case we have both of these scenarios together. So we buy the put and sell the call. So buy put at strike 10, and sell put at strike 8, right? So in this case what will happen is that our total investment will be equal to $1, because we buy the put at $2, and then we sell one of the put for -1, no, so $1, so that will be total investment of $1, and our maximum profit will be equal to, so no, first of all, maximum loss equal to -1, because our stock price, we invested total of $1, so that is all we can lose. And the maximum profit will be equal to also uh, $1, because in this case we buy the put for $10, and the maximum it can go down is to $8, because after $8 we have already sold the put. But we will gain $2 from that, because we invested $1, so we'll have a maximum profit of $1. So as you can see that we did bet on the decrease in the stock price. We lower our risk, and we also lower our investment. So if you compare this scenario with the scenario here, then you will see that your losses are much less, and your investment is much lower. However, your maximum profit is also low. But in this case it should be reasonable, because you think that stock price not gonna go below 20%, or will not go way crazy to $5 or $4. So you are lowering your profit limits, but you're also lowering your um, investment and the risk. So but if you look at the beer spread by itself, then you can see that the investment of $1, so investment of $1 will give you a maximum loss of $1, and also the maximum profit of $1, which is almost 100%, right? So therefore if you look at by itself, then it's very volatile, but if you compare it to the stock, it's much more reasonable also, and certain scenarios. So so this gives you a option to expand your investment to different stocks without investing in a single stock. So and also lowering down your risk. So I hope this tutorial will help, and I'll see you again in next tutorial. Thank you.